Hey guys, how are you? Okay, so we're in our series about 15 things that you must have in your chatbot, that you really should have to have the most success with your chatbot. And just to summarize again, why do we want to have our chatbots? In 2021, we want to make sure that we're meeting people where they want to have conversations. And people don't just want to have conversations now the way you want it. So you might want them to email and you might want them to call, but they might want to message you. And so you can't leave that option out. Like when you're trying to get leads in, you want all the ways people want to communicate with you to be available. Email, maybe a form on your website, a chatbot on your website, your phone number. But you can't leave out one of the 4 crucial ways to have people communicate with you. All right, so today I want to talk about your default message. So if somebody comes in into your chatbot and they type a message that your chatbot doesn't really understand, they're going to get a default message. And so we want to give you some tips to set up your default message the right way today. So imagine like I went into your chatbot. I'm like, hey, how much does it cost to have my lawn cut? And if you haven't set up your keywords yet, what's going to happen is that the chatbot's going to respond like, sorry, we didn't understand you. And so we want to go in there and make that message tailored to what you want your clients to see, and maybe even give them some links into the options. So let's talk about a couple of the important things to have in your default message. One, again, I think it's good to like confirm their name, like, hey Jennifer, sorry we didn't. And that, so let's start with that. How you can personalize the name. So do that first. Hey Jennifer. Second, then what you want to do is, I like to tell them that it's a chatbot. So because they gave you a message and now you're responding with an automated message. So just to confirm now it's a chatbot, like, hey Jennifer, this is the automated chatbot for SimpleGrowth. So they're not going to think if you give a response like, why are they talking like that? So they know it's a chatbot. Then you want to give them some options. Like say, I didn't understand everything, but would you like to do these things? And again, I like to give them the same options that I give in my welcome message. Do you want to get a quote? Do you want to talk to us right now? And maybe do you want to see all the things going on? So we have those 3 buttons that we're going to link to in our default message, because sometimes people just say something in a weird way that won't trigger your keywords, that they really did just want a quote. So we're going to give them that option quick and easy. And then we're going to give them a link to your main menu so they can kind of look around that they might get their message answered. Then we have this recap. The first thing is like confirm their name. Hey Jennifer, we're going to let them know it's a chatbot. This is a SimpleGrowth chatbot. We don't understand all the things. Will these buttons below help? And then you can have a link to get a quote. The other one that you might want to link to is like frequently asked questions, either on your website or if you just write up a frequently asked questions. I think that's super valuable because you know what they're going to ask and maybe they just didn't ask it in the way your chatbot understood. So link to your frequently asked questions. And then the last thing is kind of, if this doesn't help, if none of these options help, please just type your question below. Because again, people are not always knowing the right way to maneuver through the chatbot yet, so we want to be really clear with what they can do. And then the key is if they're going to type, I think you always want to make sure your notifications are turned on for your default message, because you don't want to miss that conversation. And maybe as you get, your chatbot's up for the middle of the year, or it's up for a year, then you might have an idea of like what that message might be, and you don't have to have your default message on. But it's really important when you start out that you have not have your notifications on. Big difference. You might not need your notifications on then. So make sure that when anyone comes in your chatbot, you have it set to trigger notifications to notify you so you know if you have to pick up that conversation. And you'll look at it quick, and if you don't need to pick it up, you won't. But if you do, you'll hop on it. Okay, so let's summarize. So our default message would be when somebody comes in your chatbot and they write something that either it's not keyword trigger, or they didn't touch a button, or maybe even they typed something when they should have touched a button. So then first of all, we're gonna make sure your notifications are on. So that's the first thing. So you get notified when someone comes in. I like to turn on notifications for email and text in the beginning, just so you get used to your notifications. Then you're gonna confirm who they are. Hey Jennifer, again, we can use that personalization. Third, we're going to let them know you're a chatbot. This is a chatbot responding. This is SimpleGrowth's automated chatbot. Do these options below help you? Fourth, we're going to give them the most common options. So is that get a quote? That's got to be in there, number 1. Get a quote. Talk to us now. frequently asked questions. And you can link that to your website. You can link that to just like a list in your chatbot. So those 3. And then the 5th thing would be, if that doesn't help, please write your question below. And then they can just write your question, and then you can hop on that conversation. But it's really important to have a well-written default message, because it'll get, especially in the beginning, it's going to get triggered a lot because people are just, they might not follow directions. That's why we write our chatbots really clearly and tell people what we want to do. But when we're talking to them, let's make sure that we're doing it in a conversational way, of course. We're not going to be like for our last sentence, when we say, if that doesn't help, write your questions below. We're going to write, if none of these options work, you can write your question below and we'll get back to you. Don't write like that in your chatbot. It's super conversational. If you ever get tripped up, like, how should I write this? Just imagine that you were saying to somebody. Imagine that you were like talking to me and like, hey, Jennifer, if that doesn't work, just write your question below. Like, that's how you would say it. That's how it should be in your chatbot. Anyways, have a great day, and hopefully you're getting rolling on your chatbot, because you don't want to miss conversations.